Hey. Elgin here, eXp Realty, and just wanted to talk to you today about what I'm seeing in the state of the real estate industry. A couple of things that I just don't think, there we go. Chair is tripping. That I don't think people are talking about enough. And what I'm going to talk about again, this is just my own opinion. It's a little bit of experience and versus just quoting numbers. It's almost like analytics. If you're a sports fan, man, like if you're a hooper or you a football player or something like that, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a place for analytics, but there's just certain things that you can't find in numbers, analytical numbers, and not use like your own eye test, not use your own experience. So I'm just going to put this out there again, and I just want people to have a little bit of knowledge and to think for themselves. So let's talk about the real estate market. And please understand again, that real estate is not a regional or global something in your specific area. There's a place for that, absolutely. I mean, I'm with a company that is a global real estate company, so we actually have things going on in other countries and expanding and all that. But for your own personal residence, for instance, what is happening in your local market is more important. But that being said, it may be your local market, but you need to have like peripheral vision. You need to know what's going on outside of your immediate local market, meaning that if you live on A, B, and C Street, you want to know what's going on in A, B, and C Street, but around the corner where D, E, and F is, you want to know what's going on there too. Why? Because your particular buyer and or seller on A, B, C Street are going to know what's going on D, E, F Street, if you're following me with that. So that being said, here's a couple of things. So you guys probably know here in at least the LA County area, in LA City area, that the rent moratorium was extended until now, the end of 2022. Now, I'm not here to say that's good, bad, or indifferent, because I believe, depending upon what side of the table you're on, where you're at, that there is a positive and negative place for both. Okay? But here's what I do know, again, is that particularly with forbearances and things like that there are people right now in their homes that are in trouble. That are in trouble. And that doesn't mean they're on the verge of foreclosure. That doesn't mean that all of a sudden there's going to be like 20,000 homes in a 10-mile radius come on the market. It doesn't mean any of that. But it means that everything is not quote unquote as good as sometimes it's made to sound. And interest rates are rising. Now, I want you to understand something when I talk about interest rates rising. When I'm saying interest rates are rising, I'm not predicting doom and gloom. Let me explain to you why. When my wife and I bought our first home, when I first got into business, she hadn't gotten into the real estate business yet, but when we bought our first place, a townhome, a condominium, we had to buy down our interest rates. So if some of you don't know what a buy down is, where you basically pay extra points. You pay extra points so that you get a lower interest rate. So our first place, which was 1989, we bought our interest rate down from 14% to 12%. 12% was what our interest rate was on an FHA loan, 3% down back then. And it's 3.5 now. It's 3% down back then. So why do I bring that up? I bring that up because when I hear people complaining and crying that their interest rate is at 4% instead of at like 2.8, miss me with that. I don't have a whole lot of sympathy for you. Now, I understand it, but keep it in perspective. Keep it in perspective is that you're able to now still afford more home, get into more property just based upon that. And that the interest rate should not concern you as much as the monthly payment. What is your monthly obligation that you're going to do every month? Can you make that monthly obligation? If you can make your monthly obligation, that's what should be your concern. Because if you can make your monthly obligation, it doesn't matter what the real estate market does. If the market goes up, unless you sell or refinance, so Market goes down. Let's say your real estate property goes down 50%. I don't believe that'll happen. But what if it did? So it doesn't mean anything unless you're ready to buy or sell or you're trying to refinance it. So you buy it right to begin with. You buy it to what you can afford monthly. Because you're going to have to make a monthly payment to somebody. It's just a matter of whether you're going to be building some equity in your own property or if not. So the rate shouldn't matter. I mean, the monthly obligation matters, and of course the rate matters, but the rate should not be your only decision to buy real estate. Selling real estate. If you're going to sell a piece of property and it's your personal residence, it's just a matter of what your situation is. If your situation puts you in a position to either A, you're required to sell, B, you just want to because you want to move up or down, C, maybe you think the market is overheated, maybe you want to take your chips off the table, and maybe you want to rent for a little while and just see what direction the market goes. And you don't blow your money. Right? All those are valid reasons to sell. And that is a valid reason to sell if you're in distress right now. Remember this. I'm talking to a client right now. That unfortunately is behind in the payments and have some things going on. The reason for selling and what you need to be focused on is protecting the equity that you have and have earned from your property. So let me say that again. Your reasoning should be that you're now looking to protect, to preserve your equity. Why do I say that? Let's suppose that the property that you have is worth, let's say $500,000, right? So it's worth $500,000. And let's say that you're unfortunately in distress. Maybe you're behind on the payments. Maybe you're behind on the taxes. Let's say you're behind, plus you still have a mortgage. So at the end of the day, though, once all those items are paid off, the taxes, whatever you're behind in payments, your lender, everything is paid off. Your realtor, everything is paid off. But at the end of the day, at the close of escrow, it's $300,000 in your obligations. That means there's $200,000 of your equity that you'll still get in getting rid and selling that home. Can you regroup with that? Can you get a good start with that? The answer to that is yes, because for many years, I unfortunately had people where we were short selling or their home or situations where they were just hoping to get a few $1,000s cash for keys. Because the lender is going to still get paid because you've got equity in it. So if the property goes to foreclosure, no matter how long it takes for them to do that and get you out and all that other old stuff, as we speak right now, they're going to still get every dollar and maybe some of yours. So every day that you're not able to pay, every day that or you choose not to pay, whatever the case may be, every day the person or persons that are being affected and being hurt are you and your family. You and your family. On the buying side, let's suppose you've been on the fence for a while. Let's suppose that you thought in 2018, 2019, hell, 2020 for that matter, real estate was just too high. You could have bought it. Could have struggled. Could have got into something. But you're waiting for the market to crash. You're waiting for the market to crash. I challenge you to go back and look at maybe some of the properties that you were considering in 2018, 17, again, 20. And look at what those homes are selling for today. You cost yourself equity, money. And you paid somebody to live wherever you're living. You helped their family. You helped their family. Now it's time to help yours. If you guys have any real estate questions, if there's anything we can do to assist, please don't hesitate. That is what the Elgin and Pilar Walker team are here for. We want to help you and your family grow, gain equity in real estate, property, legacy items, generational wealth. Remember, no matter what you're going through in life, it's just a temporary condition. Because things do change. But at the end of the day, it truly is. It's a great, great life. God bless you. I'm Iggity, 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 Iggity out.